That money will go straight to the mall. It's going to go straight to Louis Vuitton. It's going to go straight back to the automobile dealership, and they're going to laugh at you. They will laugh at us. They're going to say, "Damn!" Even when we beg these people to be free, they don't want to be free. They are addicted to white people. We are addicted to white supremacy. We're addicted to colonialism. We love that stuff. So until you deal with yourself, you can't deal with nobody. So I'm not looking for reparations. I'd rather have preparations. In fact, preparations will give you more than reparations. Because if every single black parent process this, think about this for a moment. Imagine if every single parent in the black community did the simple damn task of buying their child, spending as much money buying stock for their kids as they spend on their car note or whatever. And then literally every single child from that household or every household that does this would have a couple $100,000, at least $100,000 by the time they're 20, 21 years old. All of them are financially free. All of them have investing capital. All of them have the knowledge and wherewithal to succeed in this economy. There's nothing stopping you except for you. There's nothing stopping us except for mindset. I mean, sometimes we hold on to oppression because we need it. We need to believe that we are oppressed so that we don't actually have to look in the mirror and say, damn, like I'm not doing everything I could be doing to make this situation better. So some people, some black people need oppression because if you don't have oppression, then who else are you going to blame? The only person left to blame at that point would be yourself. And that's not easy for a lot of people to do. That's why healing is important. Let's keep going. So he says here, you can run, but you can't hide. Information oftentimes moves. I already mentioned that. Okay. All right. So the destruction of Fort Negro. This is interesting. This is on page 150 of the book Dirty Little Secrets. You can get copies of the book at powernomics.com. So North Florida was just a few miles away from the slave plantation in Georgia and Alabama. Many black slaves ran away from southern plantations to sanctuary in Florida, which was Spanish territory. In Florida, blacks joined the Seminole Indians or created their own black communities. More than 300 slaves made a home in an abandoned British fort on the Apalachicola River in North Florida. I think I said it right. Under the leadership of an African American African black man named Garcia, the abandoned building became known as Fort Negro. Although the fort was a heavily armed and independent community in Spanish territory, it became a haven for runaway slaves and a threat to the slavery system in America. Slaveholders pressured the U.S. government to use its forces to destroy the fort. The government made the destruction of Fort Negro a high priority in 1816 and sent the Navy and the Army up the Apalachicola River to attack the fort. When called upon to surrender, Garcia refused, even though the fort was primarily filled with women and children. Now, that's a man right there. The runaway slaves repelled the first attack on July 17, 1816. The Navy began the second attack with cannon bombardments. One of the hot cannonballs rolled into the fort's magazine and set off an explosion that killed nearly 250 of the black inhabitants. Garcia escaped injury but was killed by a firing squad, and the rest of the survivors were returned to slavery in the United States. So, how many of y'all knew about the destruction of Fort Negro? Give me a yes or no. Anybody go to your fancy white public school that taught you about Fort Negro and all the black people that were killed, or the brave black man that defended the women and children? Anybody hear that, or did they just sing, teach you how to sing Negro spirituals and tell you about the civil rights movement where we're getting bashed upside the head just so can have the right to go give our money to white people? Yeah, I never learned about Fort Negro. I literally learned about. I was literally today years old when I learned about it because I'm reading this with you, and this story is very inspirational. It's very powerful. Um, okay, and it's reason number 10,422 that they owe us reparations. Right? This is terrible. Okay, so anyway, so here's another one. All right, so it says here it paid to advertise. Throughout the slavery period, slave owners and catchers routinely ran newspaper advertisements for black men, women, and children who had run away.